Hey you guys, it's Kyle and
Courtney
from Markham Reptiles, and today we're going to talk about Courtney's experience in overcoming her fear of snakes. Let's start from the beginning, sweetheart. So what did you used to feel about snakes? What were some of the fears that you had about snakes?
Well, growing up, you see movies like Anaconda and Snakes on a Plane. They just confirm the fears or facts that you think you know about snakes. Ultimately, if you care enough, you'll do research and get a little more curious. I feel like as a child though, movies like that confirms the fear that you already have. When you are a little older, of course, as a kid, you're more curious by nature, but movies like that just makes you fear snakes.
Jennifer Lopez lied to us.
But it just confirms what you think you know about snakes. You actually have to care.
She was in that movie, right?
Yes, and Ice Cube was too.
Okay.
But it confirms what you already know about, what you think you know about snakes. When I met my husband,
That's me. I'm her husband.
we had he had expressed his interest in snakes, and I was just closed off. I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm afraid. I do not want to be afraid to live in my own home. It just gave me nightmares thinking about it. But as time went on, he expressed how much or how passionate he was about snakes. So naturally, you don't want to be that person to be like, oh no, you just can't have snakes, or you don't want to be that person to say, you know, I know this is your dream, but I just can't.
They would be called a hater.
But I decided that, how bad could it be? You can have a snake as long as I don't have to see you touch it, feed it, interact with it. It can exist.
Is that what you thought at first?
Yeah. I'm like, that's fine. That's amazing. And I convinced myself that I wouldn't have to deal with the snake. I wouldn't have to see the snake. He'll just be off somewhere alone in his little corner with the snake, and I don't have to see it. But as time went on, I kept seeing him with this snake, aka Athena.
Yes.
Beantown.
Athena is our boa imperator.
And she was so little. And every time I seen him interact with the snake, it wasn't like coiling his hand. It wasn't biting him. I had pre-notions of every snake was venomous. It was a lot. But as time went on, I got more curious to wonder why the stuff I thought I knew wasn't true, because he never got bit by the snake. Athena was really sweet and really small. And so I was like, Jesus. And so I got more curious. I got closer. And the closer I got, the more he kept saying, do you want to hold the snake? And I was like, absolutely not. I will have a mental breakdown. And it was true. And then the more he introduced me to the snake and the more snake facts he gave me, I realized what I knew was not true necessarily. Not about all snakes. And then I went from getting just close to her to booping her at the far bottom away from her head. And then I'm like, oh, they're not slimy. Oh, they're not scaly. She was really soft. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. That's enough for me. And so one thing that helped me get over my fear was that he had respected my wishes. He didn't force me to hold the snake. He didn't force me to interact with the snake. The minute I expressed that I was uncomfortable, he had ended the interaction. And he ended the interaction on better terms every time. I would, he would sit Athena in my hand, and then I'll say, oh my God, that's enough. Okay, 2 seconds, that's good. And so eventually, between him giving me facts and me having my own interaction experience with the snake became my new thought process. So now I'm intrigued. Now it just opens up my curiosity even more than what I already was curious before. But the more I learned about snakes, the more I interacted with Athena, and the more the facts that I was given was true. And then when you learn about stuff like that, it makes you look into anaconda or snakes on a plane. And do you realize like they got a mixture of like ball pythons and crap all over it, and it's so dangerous, and they bite and they're venomous, whatever. But long story short, after interacting with Athena, he kept getting different species, and each species had a like different fact about them. Facts are, people who don't know about snakes think one snake goes for all snakes. So, including temperament, where they're from, etc. So, it's all in a matter of like being more curious about snakes and know your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is as much of an interaction as you can tolerate without you putting nervous energy off on your snake because they know you're unsure and you know you're unsure. Then stay in your comfort zone. Getting a new snake, being a pet owner, etc. Again, don't get anything that you're afraid of, because your experiences are going to go as far as your nerves allow, and not all the time is that a good breeding ground for a good relationship with your snakes, or you to get to know your snakes, because it could be your own anxiety giving you a bad interaction instead of the snake. So my advice is, if you are scared of snakes and you are curious about snakes, then you too can debunk those fears and get a little more involved. You can also deep dive, which I love about the community, into the snake community. Watch a couple of videos, handling videos. That's really my suggestion. The parents who kids that want snakes,
You're gonna have to take care of it.
understand
You have to be ready to take care of any pet you get for a child.
that children are the most curious imagination. I want this right now thought process people, little people. And if they are to get a snake and you're scared of it, I encourage you to do your research. Do a research on what your child can handle and what you can handle, especially out of fear. Size, temperament, food, etc. All this plays into you both getting to know a snake, you stroking your kids' curiosity and showing them that if you have the facts, then all is well.
How has your comfortability level changed?
Oh, tremendously. I can go into snake cages alone. I can go into snake cages alone. I can now read temperament of the snakes we have.
What's the temperament on this snake I'm holding?
She's like puppy dog.
This is Athena now, which is the same snake that I've put up pictures of. We got her as a couple-month-old baby. Boas do give live birth, so she was just born. She was not hatched out of an egg. And she still has the same wonderful temperament that she's always had. She's just a lot bigger. And now Courtney's super comfortable holding her. And when people see Courtney holding this animal, they're actually usually shocked. And that is just because of her size. But she's one of the nicest, sweetest snakes that we have.
And she loves my braids. She grew up in my braids.
She did. She was raised in Courtney's braids. She was raised being touched on the face, being touched on the tail. She doesn't have any reaction to anything like that at all. She does not care. So she's super social. I can pass her to almost anyone, and they can have a good experience. And usually it helps to see someone like Courtney that wasn't super into snakes originally holding a snake like this. And that helps ease other people that knew that about her. She actually has that more recent experience of overcoming her fear of snakes. So that helps her to relate to people that are currently scared of snakes. How do you relate to people that are currently scared of snakes? What is it that you tell people? Because I noticed that you are able to get people to hold snakes that are a bit hesitant.
I keep it in their comfort. I make sure I ask them, what do they know about them? And usually they go into all of these like snakes on a plane and anaconda and snakes are weird, snakes are slimy, and all the things that aren't true. And usually I'm able to talk them into like being open to receiving actual facts about snakes. And once I get them there, it goes from like pictures, and then they're curious and they're like, this snake is so beautiful, oh my gosh. Oh my, and they want to interact with the snake because now what they believe to be true is not true. And naturally, as a person, when you are learning something new about a species, any species in the world, anybody who at least have a liking for animals understand that once your curiosity is piqued, then you want to experience that for yourself. Now, when you get them in front of the snake, you make sure you gauge them as well as the animal so you keep the experience positive. If they want to just look at you, interact with it and talk to them while you're interacting, get them comfortable. And if they want to just touch the back of the snake, you allow it. You say, it's not that bad. See, they're not slimy.
Like on the very end of the tail.
Yeah. And you let them know it's not slimy, and then you give them more facts about the snakes. And then you let them know that this industry or these animals have a broad spectrum of with their temperament, which you believe to be true. Like, for instance, Athena's sizing me up right now. Yeah.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and test this myth out. Here I have Athena. Here I have myself. And this is actually a tape measure, so she can actually size me up to try to eat me. Let's see what she does here. Here you go, Athena. Ah!
And she's just puppy dog. She just wants something to hold on to. And to get someone to realize that they sometimes need a true in-person interaction. And from my mom to my coworkers, they all were pretty curious to know, like, oh my God, how could you? And once I said, well, what do you know about snakes? And it pivots into a bigger conversation of curiosity, debunking, and also now they want to say, oh, I want to come to your house and interact with your snakes. Perfect. We can keep it light. Keep it light and keep it comfortable. And the more they have the interaction, the more they'll spread the truth about, oh, I went over to my friend's house. I had this interaction with this snake, and it wasn't bad. They aren't slimy. Now they're spreading the word that snakes are not what you think they are. Fear is a breeding ground for people to consume truths that align with what they believe, and it's just not true.
Yeah, so information really, no matter what their comfortability level, is really the beginning of anyone's relationship with snakes. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. So, Courtney has definitely become much more comfortable with snakes. Like she said, I actually had a surgery recently, and I was at a commission for a couple days. So she actually went in here and cleaned all the snakes by herself. We have quite a few snakes at the moment. All of them have different temperaments as well. So I was super proud of her for going in and actually doing that. And yeah, she's actually my #1 supporter. So anything that I'm doing, she's always supported it. So it was really no surprise to me that she supported my journey here with breeding snakes, making these YouTube videos and stuff like that, and keeping cool snakes. I have a lot of snakes that are really just pets. Like Chuckles here behind us is a beautiful green tree python. And I won't be breeding Chuckles anytime soon. That doesn't mean I'll never breed green tree pythons because I haven't ruled that out. But I have a lot of stuff just because it's a really cool pet. And she's always supported everything I do. She doesn't get on me about buying new snakes. She definitely doesn't get on me about doing anything that I think is a good idea. She encourages my passion. She encourages my journey in the reptile community. And go find you guys somebody like that. She's absolutely wonderful. She's very supportive. And I think that people that support you in general are going to be more likely to open their minds and support you in the reptile world. Like Courtney's mom, for example, is a great example. She was very scared of snakes. She did not at first want to be in the same room with snakes. True. But then, by default, being over here a lot, I'm walking around carrying snakes all the time. So she's seeing them all the time and getting more and more comfortable until eventually she didn't mind being in a room with them at all. She began to ask more questions about them. I answered them. That curiosity started to develop. And eventually she'd be like, can I touch the tail? I'd let her touch a snake. And of course, when you're letting someone touch a snake, make sure it's a well-socialized snake, of course. But yeah, she touched the snake and eventually she held a snake, which for me was a full circle moment that was absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to say to someone who may be scared of snakes, but they're curious?
Yeah, do your research. It's nothing wrong with deep diving into truth. Be a truth finder, be a sponge. Be open to new truths and debunking what you think you know, because it's not true all the time. And don't worry about what everyone else around you think about you. A lot of the time, especially children, will say, you know, I don't want people to think I'm weird, or I don't want people to say whatever. Don't worry about that stuff. I would say be a sponge, get information, and then do what you love. If that's snakes and people like you or they love you, they'll go ahead and adjust.
That's what she did. So yeah, absolutely, you guys. Let us know what you thought of this video. Let us know if you have any more questions for Courtney. I think that she actually has a really wonderful perspective on reptiles as a whole, because she has that fresh perspective. Even though she's been at it with me a couple years now, she has that really fresh perspective of someone that's learning and really just starting to dive into the reptile community. So do you guys have any more video ideas that I should make with Courtney? I think she is a wealth of knowledge and perspective. So I definitely would love to include her in more videos. If you have some ideas, or if you just liked this video, want to show us some love, comment below. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Markham Reptiles, and follow us on Patreon. The #1 way to support us, you guys, is through Patreon. And if you can't monetarily support us, we have an option to follow us for completely free on Patreon. That is linked in the description below. Go ahead and check out our partner Reptiles. They're a premium producer of coconut chip, and we have linked them in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you're having a wonderful day. Until next time, take care.
Bye.